Welcome to our Component Spotlight video. In this Component Spotlight video, we're going to be breaking down the checkbox component. So our checkbox component can be found in the user interface section of our palette. Let me go ahead and grab that now. So what is our checkbox component? Essentially, a checkbox or our checkbox component is a way to receive a Boolean response. A Boolean being a true or a false, a yes or a no, a 1 or a 0. No matter how you want to, phrase that, essentially it's an on or an off, right? So you may be familiar with these in things like when you're signing up for a form and they want to send you emails, right? They say, check this box if you would like to receive further emails, right? If you don't want to receive further emails, then make sure it's unchecked, right? And that's just what our checkbox component is going to do for us, right? Do we want to allow people to do something? If so, check the box. If not, don't check the box, right? Great. So now that we know what it does, let's go ahead and review some of the properties. So a lot of these properties have to do with the label that's to the right of our checkbox. That's kind of what App Inventor does for us. It allows us to not only do, the checkbox to the left, but it also has a little label to the right. So you'll notice on my phone, this is how it shows up. If I were to change this text here, I could say, receive emails, press enter, and you'll notice there it is, right? And I could check it to receive emails, or I can uncheck it to not receive emails, let's say. Great. So the rest of these components are pretty self-explanatory. The one thing that we have that's not necessarily self-explanatory is this checked. So if we click checked, it's going to be on by default, right? It's going to be checked by default. If we uncheck it, it will be unchecked by default. And by default, I mean as soon as our app starts, that is the default state it's going to be in. Great. Let's go over our noteworthy blocks. So I'm going to go to my checkbox. And let's go over this when checkbox changed. So essentially, this block is going to, allow us to respond when somebody changes the state of our checkbox. So if I were to check it, it would fire this event. If I were to uncheck it, it would fire this event. And by fire this event, I mean it would essentially execute whatever blocks are inside of this do portion, right? So as soon as I check or uncheck, this changed is going to, respond. Great. So a lot of you might be thinking, okay, that's all well and good, but how do I get if it's on or if it's off? Well, what we could do is we could say, okay, when it's changed, right? Notify me when it's changed. And then when it's changed, I want to get if it's checked or not. And the way I get if it's checked or not is I use this block, right? This just allows me to grab the property if it's been checked or not. So as I said, I just wanted to point out that this is how you receive if it's been checked or not. This is how you respond to when our checkbox has been turned from on to off or from off to on. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for our checkbox component spotlight. I will see you in the next video.